Here she is from the Love is Bitcoin Twitter handle. Libby, how are you doing?
Hi, I just want to thank you for having me here, and also let you know that actually Livy is a character, so she lives in all of our hearts. I'm representing her. We're a team behind this account. We try to do a good job in marketing for many cool Bitcoiner companies, and my job is to give Livy a face, a voice, and to give her life.
That's cool. So what's your real name, or is that a secret?
No. I'm Flo Montoya. I'm actually also a Bitcoin artist, and I also work for like Panties for Bitcoin. I'm really deep into this space, and I really love it. I love working here.
Well, this is the thing that's cool. I obviously there's a lot of tech people and finance people in the space, but I love seeing, and one of the reasons I wanted to reach out is I love seeing more artists come into the space because I think there's a need for it. I think honestly, the best thing I heard about Bitcoin is really it's for anybody and whatever skill set or that you have, there's a way to bring it into Bitcoin and make it, whether you're a cook, whether you're an artist, whether you make clothes or whatever. And I think that's what's really cool. So I always love giving everybody's orange pill story. When did it happen? Where were you? I love hearing what you thought when you first heard it. I love hearing everybody's story because I like superheroes. So to me, it's an origin story of like when you were bit by the spider, like super
Yeah,
spider.
absolutely. I actually got orange pilled by my family. My whole family is Bitcoiner. Um, my dad was the first one. We live in South America, in Chile, and we were used to this moving money around. He works for a German company, so for us this I think it's called remittances, when you move like money from one country to another. So that was a usual problem for us. He's been working for this company for like 20 years, and at some point we heard about Bitcoin before, and it was like, no, magic internet money, this is, we don't know what this is. Then the second time, thank God, we were more deep into it, and we started learning more. And my dad said, okay, let's try this instead of our regular banking system, the way we used to take the euros and convert them to Chilean shitcoin. And yeah, so and he tried that, and it was easier. You had less hassle, less people to, no one to talk to, like you didn't have to like wait for the banking hours, like they only work from until 2 p.m. in that country, but we are in this country. And he moved the money super fast, and he actually gave himself like a raise. And that was back in like 2017. And so from that point on, he started really learning and studying, and we were all living together in the house with my siblings. And he said, like, it was about the block size war. So he said, like, okay, let's check this out. Let's go. Let's see how this turns out, because we were a bit afraid of that thing, like if Bitcoiners would win or not. Like, and he said, like, this is crucial. Like, if Bitcoin wins this war, then we have to keep trying, and we can continue with this system and study it, and we know the outcome, that it actually did win. So at that point, from that point on, we were like very deep into Bitcoin. And for me personally, it made more sense in my head like in 2020. Like, I had more time in the pandemic, and I also had like finished I studied arts. I studied classical arts first, and then arts in the university. So I was finished then, and then it was like, now I have time to really think about this thing. And I just started doing art about Bitcoin, and I continued until now from that point.
That's cool. That's one of the more unique orange pill stories I've heard. Getting orange pilled by your dad, by your family. Like, most people are like, they had to orange pill their parents, and their parents didn't get it at first. That's pretty cool. But it makes sense if your father was sending money. And it feels like the pandemic was a lot when a lot of, I mean, I knew about Bitcoin in 2019, kind of understood it, not really. It was when the pandemic hit 4 years ago that I was like, I better learn this. It felt like that a lot of us kind of went, oh, we better figure this out, because they can just seize our money. They can tell us, they can shut everything down. And that to me was like, and I have already, you know, I've told this story before, not in detail, but on the show that I lost my home as part of the housing crisis in the United States. And so I got really crushed by the corruption of the banks and the political system in America. And that's another reason I really wanted to get into, when I started to learn Bitcoin, about what it was. It feels like, was the pandemic, did that help sort of accelerate your desire to learn more about it?
In my case, I mean, I got more time for it, you know, but and we got more afraid. But actually, just before the pandemic in Chile, we had like a lot of strikes, and people were protesting really, really hard. So I think that moment was kind of frightening for us, like this thing can get out of control. And we knew that a lot of people with a lot of money were taking it out of the country. So we were like looking at this, like, I don't know what this is going to mean for our country. The president we have now he's only president because of this protest. Like, he got really into this movement, and now he's the president, and they are very, very, like, very socialist, and all those policies like we don't really like. So we were thinking, like, we need to opt out. We already know about Bitcoin. We are using it. We are saving. We already understand that you can save in fiat, and everything else loses against Bitcoin. But at that moment was like, this is a revolution. Like, no, it's not only a tool. It's not only very useful and cool and great and intelligent. This is revolution. Like, this is like a really kind of something between a tool and a weapon that you can use to protect yourself, you know. So I think, yeah. And then came the pandemic, and they started printing like money like crazy, and we saw all of that. Yeah, I think it also made our position about Bitcoin like stronger. Yeah.
That's really cool. I love hearing that it's a tool for the revolution. You know, I've heard so many different descriptions of Bitcoin because it's so many things. I've heard that it's like a money counterculture, that it's, yeah, but a tool for revolution is really powerful. I absolutely think it is a tool for revolution, because the central banks and the governments, they you know, they just want to control us and crush us. So